District for over 4 decades. This wall of stained glass is much more than glass and color. It's a symbol of creativity, spirit, and inspiration. All starting from an idea from Masha Rukina, a student at Tybee High School in 1983. To begin, I need to make some introductions. After the introductions, we have scheduled remarks for some of our special guests, and I'll invite the speakers up later in the program. Dr. David Sprouse, our KISD Board President. Andrew Hayes, Board Member, in the back. Greg Peschel, Board Secretary. And Pete Calderon, Board Member. And Rolinda Smith, Board Member. I did not miss anybody, did I? Other special guests in attendance, John Ruth, Director of Libraries and Librarian, who supported Masha and her creativity, and why we are all here today. Mr. Ruth, thank you. Gary Myers, Masha's assistant principal, who also supported her in her work on the stained glass project. Mr. Myers. Board members at the time who approved this project, Dr. David Hunt, Linda Leslie, and Dr. Bill Rector. Our current KISD leadership, Jarrett Jihadi, Assistant Superintendent of Business Services / CFO. Mr. Jihadi's in the back. Shelby Balzer, Assistant Superintendent of HR and Administration. Ms. Balzer goes there. Julie Mangold, my administrative assistant, who is why it looks the way it does today. She coordinated all RSVPs, the program, the bookmark that reflects, resembles our stained glass at your seat. If you do not get one of those, we have those available at the back at the end of the program too. Also to introduce Katie Butler, the librarian, Dr. Mouton, the HPMS principal here, and Amanda Lord, our art teacher, who are also in attendance. Where are you all at? So Dr. Mouton, Katie Butler, and our art teachers from HPMS. Tish Miller is the other art teacher. They will come up shortly. So now for our guest of honor, who you'll also hear a little bit from later, Masha's family members. We have Masha's brother, Lev Rukin, and sister Lisa Rukina. In 1983, Masha, then a junior at Tybee High School, presented this idea as a gift to the campus. She approached Mr. John Ruth and then the KISD board, and also with Mr. Myers, about this project and this remarkable vision. Masha's talents are from a family with a history of being amazing artists. Her mother, a talented stained glass artist, and her father, a renowned Russian painter. Masha wanted to create something that would be a lasting gift to our district. Her dedication led her to not only propose this stained glass project, but to also manage it from start to finish, coming in under budget, all for less than $2,400 in 1983. She carefully planned every detail and the beautiful colors, and a new fact I learned today, on every piece of stained glass, you will see her signature when she made this artwork. Her work on this piece reflects her immense talent and the spirit of our community. Masha was Kerrville's first winner of the Texas Arts and Crafts Educational Foundation's Young Artist Competition, only one of 3 winners in Texas in 1983, showing that she was already a visionary and a leader. This stained glass has journeyed with us from Tybee High School, 1983 to 2003, before it was moved to across the street, to the library of Hal Peterson Middle School, which was 2004 to 2021, and the new Hal Peterson Middle School, which we see today. This artwork has seen generations of students pass by, each touched by its beauty, each taking away a little piece of its history and meaning, history that we want to commemorate for future generations of KISD students, where it can continue to inspire for decades to come. As we stand here today, let's reflect on what this artwork symbolizes. It represents the power of vision and community support, the passion of a young artist and the encouragement of a district that believes in student-driven creativity. Today, as we rededicate this piece, we're reminded that art like this brings people together and reminds us all of our shared values. I'd like to introduce our first speaker, Dr. David Sprouse, KISD Board President.
My remarks are going to be very brief. When the school opened, this is year number 3, year number 4. This is the story that I remember. Greg Peschel and I, along with the other board members, were touring this beautiful campus, and we were so glad that this piece of art had been brought over from the other middle school. My kids are 36 and 34 now. When they were at Tybee High School, when it was on Sidney Baker, they walked through this work of art when they went into the library. When Greg was attending Tybee High School, he did the same thing. We were talking about this and saying, where was the origin of this? And I thought I'd remembered someone telling me before, well, was it a foreign exchange student from Russia who made this? I had just a snippet that was incorrect. I had a snippet of the story, and that was incorrect, but it kind of was correct, and Greg said, I think maybe it was something like that. And so I thought, the story of this needs to be told before everybody who knows it is dead. So we got together and said, let's do something to see how we can get the story correct. And our good friend John Ruth, I thought, I'm going to ask this gentleman, I bet he knows exactly the story. And so, John, thank you for being the person who grabbed this ball and ran with it when we asked you to, solely on his own time, solely on just the kindness of his heart. So, John, will you come up and say a few words, please?
Well, it wasn't hard to run with it. This is how I was approached by Masha. She came in the spring of '83 into the library and said, Miss Ruth, everyone has been so nice to me here. I would like to give a gift back to the school. And at that time, our new library, it was a new library, had a glass wall that separated the hallway from the library. And she said, I don't know if you know, my mother is a stained glass artist, and I knew that. And she said, I do stained glass too, and I would like to build a stained glass window here. And I'm thinking, how's that going to work? And she said, not to take the clear glass down. We would put the stained glass on the library side so the clear glass would protect it from the hallway. I was still skeptical because it sounded like too much. And then she showed me this notebook where she had made a sketch of the library window as it was, just clear. And then onion skin by onion skin, she showed how it would come alive with her design like this. She said, now if we did this, I couldn't afford to buy the glass. And I priced it out, it would be no more than $2,500. And I said, okay. And she said, and I don't have a place to work. And I said, okay. And then I looked at this and I said, just sit down a minute. And I went to Bob Presley's office and I told him what she had told me, and then I showed him the book. And I said, we need to do this. And I think this is the first time the KISD school board has ever worked this quickly on anything. By the next morning, Bob came down and said, you're getting $2,500 put in your budget in a special place, and we're going with it, and we will let her work in one of the empty science labs. And she started work the end of that week. When the school day was over, she went into that room, changed into her work clothes, and stayed working in her studio until the custodians had to close the building. And she kept working all summer long, and each rectangle, she did each rectangle separately. And when one would be done, she had an old wagon, and it was loaded with quilts. And she would stack about 3 of them, quilts between them. and bring them over to the library. By that time, the year was over, so no one was in the library, and we stored all those in the library. And she finished, I think, around the last week in July or the first week in August. We were about 2 weeks before the school year started. And someone had the presence of mind to contact Thad Ziegler. They set up the scaffolding inside the library and gave us one man. He would hold the thing in place while she screwed the panels in. So she did as much as she could. And that's the story. And I got to live with it until I retired in 02 from summer of 83 till 02, and I loved it. And I know the junior high, when Old Tybee became junior high, they loved it too. And I'm just really happy with the district that y'all moved this. This is so good. It could have been so forgotten, and we've never had this. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Ruth. At this time, I'd like to invite our campus leadership, Dr. Mouton, Tish Miller, and our art teachers, Tish Miller and Amanda Lord, up for a few comments. Dr. Mouton.
Good evening, everyone. First of all, thank you for being here this evening. I am the blessed principal to serve at Hal Pearson Middle School. My name is Sunny Mouton. This is my second year at Hal Pearson. That's why I know it's the fourth year of the building. So it's, like 3.5-ish, but this is entering into our fourth year. And, we strive here at Hal Pearson academic excellence, communication, collaboration, and to provide a welcoming environment. So I hope each and every one of you feel welcome tonight. And again, I'm so thankful that you're here. But I'm not the reason why you're here. Art is the reason. So I will let Ms. Tish Miller and Ms. Laura speak. Here to you. Okay. Don't arm wrestle.
Hi, I'm Tish Miller. This is my third year at Peterson, and I was at BT before that. We had a lot of fun with this project. It was great to collaborate with Ms. Butler when she asked us about this project. The kids had a fabulous time coming in here and getting to talk about them as kind of like real art. They can see it. They can talk about the person that created that. And it's one of those types too that they can actually touch. And that is, kids hear all the time, don't touch it, don't touch it. And we were like, just go ahead and go there and touch it and feel it. And it was just such a huge inspiration for them to learn about the process and to really spend some time looking at something that sometimes we take for granted what's around us. So it was pretty inspiring for them. And we had a really hard time narrowing down art for display because of how amazing their projects were because of their inspiration.
So I am from Tybee, class of 2001, and I remember this in the library at Tybee, and sitting in the library and looking up in the afternoon, the sun would come through it and how it inspired me. And then I was a teacher in that school, and I remember when they said, you're getting a new school, it's going to be amazing, and everyone was so excited about the new school, and I was just, what's going to happen to the class? And then they assured me it was going to be taken down and moved to the new school, so I was very happy. So I have traveled with this art, and it has inspired me. I took a class learning how to make stained glass, and it is no easy feat. And especially the magnitude, the size of this, for someone so young, that's just truly amazing. And so it's been an inspiration to me, and I love the fact that it is now an inspiration to my students. And I hope you enjoy looking at the art, and the artists are here in the room, and you can read what they wrote, how they were inspired by her artwork, and I hope you enjoy. Thank you.
finally, I would like to turn over to Lev Rukin for comments.
Hello. Everybody. I can just hold this.
Yeah.
Hello, everyone. My name is Lev. I am 5 years younger than my late sister, and when I found out this was happening, I drove down from Los Angeles. I was so excited I wouldn't want to miss it. Really happy to be here, and thank you for including me. I want to thank the KISD of 1984 for allowing this to happen. And I want to thank the KISD of present day for preserving this work, my sister's achievement. I really want to thank John Ruth, my sister's greatest champion. I don't know what my voice is all cracked, sorry. Terrible speaker. The journey from the USSR to Texas was a difficult one. My mom was a single mom. God, I don't know why my voice is cracked. I think it's the microphone. That's what it is. It's the mic. My mom moved to Kerrville to work for James Avery. She was a single mom with 4 kids, and it was tough. We didn't speak the language. We didn't know anyone. It was a completely different culture. And it was really tough for Masha. She was 13, and she was trying to figure it all out herself. Kerrville really embraced this. It gave us a home. It really gave us a community, a foundation, and I am so grateful to Kerrville for that.
Boy, this is ridiculous.
Oh God, sorry, that's better. So I think Masha had a really tough time as a 13-year-old, and this was her way of expressing herself. This is her way of expressing her gratitude. And I'm so thankful that KISD has kept Masha alive through her art, through this rededication. And I know she would have been honored, thrilled that this work is still standing. How's that? I hope everybody, especially you young ones who pass through these halls, enjoy and really get inspiration from this work. Thank you for having me.
Mr. Rukin, thank you for those words. Also, guests, thank you for joining us for this remarkable piece of artwork and rededication. On behalf of KISD and the Board of Trustees, and thank you to Masha's family for being here today and allowing us to honor you and the legacy of Masha. We invited everyone to stay. We're going to do the ribbon cutting. After the ribbon cutting, take pictures, mingle. There's a very nice charcuterie board that our student nutrition team did right outside the library with drinks and student artwork here in the center, and just some history of Masha on the table back here in the pink. But we're going to do the ribbon cutting at this moment over here. We invite the family members to come up to participate in the ribbon cutting.